We're back and we're ready for game number 1 between DRG and JYP. The countdown has started. The game will soon be loading. And although we don't have a shot of it now, I did just see JYP say that he will kill DRG in the chat log. Yeah,
DRG let him know that he will dragon breath him. So
yes, that's literally what he said.
I don't know what that really means, but
we're going to be in the map Daybreak. Let's go and introduce the players, who I think you all already know so well. In the upper right, in the red, the greatest Zerg alive, perhaps the greatest player alive. Give it up for DRG. By the way, I loved his answer that interview. Hilarious. In the bottom left starting location, they say he's got the best Protoss versus Zerg in the world. Will it be enough to beat DRG? We're going to find out. His ID is JYP. That DRG is actually an abbreviation for Tongregu, which is a, what is that? It's a region in Busan, which is a city in South Korea, near the beach, well, on the beach actually. Do we know what JYP stands for?
I do believe it's his initials.
It's just his initials?
Yes.
All right, now we know. Daybreak is a great map. It's a map that usually lends to some pretty dramatic long games. The 2 middle expansions, small middle left and small middle right, play a huge role in the positioning war in this game. So if it goes to late game, we're probably going to be looking at those 2 points, as well as their Zelnaga watchtowers constantly.
You know, I have watched every DRG game, I think, that he has played. I'm pretty sure. And, you know, all the televised ones at least. And I have to say, wow. Wow, and this is actually probably a very good choice. He's hiding a pylon. I'm not sure what he's going to do with it quite yet. Looks like he may just do a little cannon push, which would be kind of hilarious.
Oh my God, he's doing the Bronze League strat. Okay. You guys know what I'm talking about. Everybody's experienced this on Battle.net.
Yeah, man. Cannons come in. It's much harder in StarCraft 1 where you only had 1 gas, and then suddenly you can't get gas, and it gets pretty bad. But the pool's on that side, so if he can get that going, that's going to be pretty brutal.
Look, this is like so not used, assuming he makes the cannons, that it could just cost it could cost you the game because nobody checks for this because they don't do this.
Is it possible that he's not doing this for cannons?
Maybe
is it
for
possible
a
that this
later.
is for a much later warp gate rush? Just saying, okay, DRG, you know, there are so many games of DRG on this map. He may have just stared at a place in the base and seen at what minute DRG normally gets vision of there. That would be a very complicated way to try to snipe him in this match. And, you know, that's not a bad idea. For Daybreak, DRG basically doesn't lose this match. Occasionally he will drop to a 2-base timing all in on his 3rd, but almost every time he will kill you, especially if you try to take a 3rd on this map. He will just go in with either Roaches or Ling Muta or whatever he really wants.
This is going to be so interesting. Now that probe will not go back into the main just in case you know, the Zerglings can check there, and so he wants to keep them as far out as possible. The Nexus being planted was not denied. And I guess, we're probably going to see a Chrono Boost on Warp Gate, and we're probably going to see some Zealots in the Zerg's main pretty soon.
Yeah, I would assume that he's going to go ahead and get +1 attack and Warp Gate as quickly as possible and just warp in +1 Zealots, because with that pylon already up there, he will have that quicker than Roaches. Roaches absolutely will not be out in time to deal with those +1 Zealots correctly, especially if he warps in 4 and then another 4 without showing them.
I can't emphasize how rare this actually is at the highest echelon of play.
Yeah.
We just don't see it enough. The scouting probe actually planting the pylon, because, you know, if you play a lot on ladder, for instance, you know, okay, when the probe, if I know a probe got to my base, what do? I check all the corners because they might have put a pylon there. So eventually at the higher level play, it's sort of a meta thing. You just don't hide that stuff anymore because anybody who's responsible enough to check their base will look. But at this level of play, it's so rare because everybody just stops doing it at that high level that it's like a meta on top of a meta trick that JYP is using here.
And, I mean, he masked it well, too. It was linked up with the timing to go down into the natural to check for a drone. So he snuck it down out of vision, then went back up, and then came back in on the right path to show that that is in fact where he went. So it's just one of the trickiest things ever. Now, +1 in the warp gate upgrade are quickly on the way. 3 gates being added. Oh, and I mean, this is a Stargate as well. This is going to be such a brutal attack.
I would not be shocked if he even slows down on mining gas, just to get as many Zealots out as humanly possible.
Well, he's getting a Void Ray as well, but that Roach Warren is a little bit quicker than I was expecting from DRG this game. He has Roach Warren timings mapped out quite well, and this is just ever so slightly earlier than I thought. Now, I mean, that may mean if he blindly makes a few Roaches that he can actually go ahead and hold this.
All right, let's see what's going to happen. Warp gate is done. And all we have to do is see those warp gates blossom, or the gateways blossom into the warp gates.
He's not going to be paying attention. His main is going to be paying attention to the 3 Zealots at his third base. They're coming up right now, going after that Spine Crawler, and it looks like they should be able to force a cancel on that Spine. In fact, they do just straight up kill it, and Roach is already out. Oh my, indeed. Now we do have a double-pronged attack here. He's going after the Queen in the main base, so Roach is going to clean up at the third. And that Queen.
And he does not take the Queen out. Okay,
there
now
he
he just hit.
Some pretty significant damage being done so far here, but DRG's quick Roach Warren really paying off.
And look, he got this spread out so beautifully. Now, once the pylon in the main is taken out, you know, momentum of this is going to slow down. But
DRG,
I have to say,
defending.
DRG actually handled this pretty damn well.
Yeah, this was basically perfect defense. What actually happened here? He killed almost nothing, as we see. You know, he made him lose some mining time, got a couple Queens, killed maybe a Roach or 2, but he lost a lot of Zealots, and now DRG is way up in supply. He's up by 18 right now, which is pretty insane. That's actually just so impressive.
Well, you know, DRG just seems so unfazed by this. It's almost kind of funny. But let's see, the rush is not done yet. I just expected DRG to have taken more damage. The Void Rays are charged up. That's when things start to get a little bit scary. Hitting the Queen now. But this may actually be able to do enough damage. They can pick up the Queens one at a time, isolating them pretty easily.
Yeah, double charged Void Ray is scary, and he made the Nexus in completely the wrong spot. Wait
a minute, are you serious? Can we get a shot of the
He's
Nexus
actually
back
making
there?
2 Nexuses.
Oh my God, it's a trash talk move. I think he's saying that he's actually won this game. If JYP loses this, he's going to look very foolish.
I am like really strongly wondering this. Now, Nexus has some of the most hit points in the game. I want to wonder if he's doing this for a reason, to make an extra wall against Roaches, because against 3-base Protoss, DRG always hits a huge Roach timing and busts through the gateway walls that are normal on this map.
You may be right, I'm not sure, but that's just such a weird way to do it. I guess with an extra Nexus, you can get more probes, I guess.
He might just not really be looking and think that he made a pylon because he was thinking about making a Nexus, you know, just a very weird slip of
he canceled it.
Yeah,
he canceled the Nexus back there.
He thought he was making a pylon. That makes a lot more sense now. That's something that can happen when you're moving as quickly as these guys are, playing under so much stress like they are.
All right, he's coming up here with the sentries and the Zealots to try to take care of these Roaches. The Roaches ideally would want to force a cancel.
Will not be able to do that right now. DRG starting massive Roach production, even though he lost a lot of Queens and got harassed very well by those Void Rays. He does have 71 drones and 25 Roaches out already with the +1 attack and speed finished. And Burrow moving on the way. That's what DRG does on this map, man. He is going for it. He's going for his Roach bust.
He always goes for Burrow movement.
Yeah.
He just kills you when you get your third base. It's funny because JYP's strategy was so beautiful and actually executed so well, but it really did not seem to do anything to DRG.
Yeah. Well, that is a ton of Roaches, but don't forget, double Void Ray. And with 2 Void Rays, they are really going to put a clock on those Roaches much better than the normal 1 that we'll see from top Protosses on this map.
As you can see now, JYP starting to control the map. The supplies, hold that thought. We had some force fields coming down here. We got a pretty good surround here. Literally every side has Roaches coming in at it.
And wow, just crushing through JYP. In fact, should not have been on the map. He overestimated the damage he did there. And now DRG has just cleaned up his units. I'm actually really surprised he was out there when every game on this map against third base, DRG does this.
I think he thought he did more damage than he actually did. And now these Stalkers are in a very bad position. I think actually that's GG. All of a sudden, DRG just won the game.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that. Little counter warp in, but is that going to be enough? The Roach is going to take out that natural with ease, and in fact, even Bro movement finishing.
Damn, okay. Well, the Zealots are doing something up here. I just don't know if these Roaches can be stopped in time. Remember, he does have Burrow, so he can even avoid the Phoenixes.
That is very true, Tasteless. And I mean, he's just got to clean up as best he can here, but that Nexus is going down
Nexus.
For sure. And now he's down to just 2 bases. And obviously that's not the spot you want to be in against DRG, who has 71 drones.
It looks like JYP's assessing the situation, and I don't know if this game can go on much longer. He may try to eke out a win here somehow, but man, he is in a really bad spot.
Well, the Spire has finished. And with that Spire, you'll probably switch into Mutas relatively soon, but he has started the +2 for his Roaches, so not quite given that up yet.
You know, with the Mutas out, he could surprise these Phoenixes, and suddenly at that point in time, JYP can't leave his base. It's kind of like a checkmate position.
I have to say, it's amazing that JYP is keeping up in supply as well as he is. He's only down by 22 right now, and while that sounds like a lot, oftentimes DRG will be actually maxed against a Protoss of this supply right now.
Oh yeah, okay, so here comes some more Roaches over here. They're gonna take out these 2 cannons. The Stalkers are gonna come in here and try to save the day. Now note, do we have an Observer with that army? Do we even have a Robo in this game? No,
well,
we have a Robo. There's an Immortal there, excuse me.
But no Observer with that army.
So theoretically, he could burrow in these locations, and that's another way to kind of force the opposing player into a bad position.
Yeah. Now, we do have more and more Mutas being produced right now, so even as he cleans up these Roaches, those Mutas are going to be just so dangerous. Just 1 Phoenix left. That Phoenix not going to be all that useful to defend. And, you know, he has a lot of cannons in production now. He realizes, uh-oh, I've been doing things like buying some Zealots and Immortals. Those don't hit air. He's going to need a lot of cannons to shore up his defenses.
This may be the point of no return. Once you get this many Mutalisks out, Protoss doesn't have enough solid defense or infrastructure to really recover. Basically, every time the Stalkers attack, like you see here, perfect example, the Mutalisks just leave and attack somewhere else. And even though Stalkers are very mobile, Mutas are much, much, much more mobile.
Yeah. Well, JYP continues to hold on, but DRG's lead gets bigger and bigger. He is taking a 4th base down in the bottom right, just finishing up now, and even starting drones right before it finished so that they can go down there immediately. Get even planning on a 5th base now, because he does have complete map control. JYP, I mean, he has a pretty scary army, but can he actually leave his base area? No, because then DRG can counterattack, kill a base off, and then run back to defend.
Oh, note this subtle move here. Note how he's just set the Changeling in the top center there, so that after this Nexus is destroyed, he can keep an eye on it. Let's see if JYP notices the Changeling. That was a very subtle move. And you can see, nope, he did not even notice the Changeling. That is such a high-level, sneaky move. I am so impressed with DRG right now. And there you go, burrowing over there.
This is what DRG does. You know, he is just everywhere at once. Daybreak is one of his absolute best maps. His Protosses are just, it has to hurt as a Protoss to play against him here.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, it's whenever you watch DRG play on these maps, it's like the Protoss doesn't really get many opportunities to go to the Zerg side of the map.
Well, you know, he is chasing him back a little bit, but a lot of Lings are in production. Baneling's speed on the way as well.
Oh!
And more
Almost got
counterattacks
a pylon
coming up.
Here. Another counter. He was a split second away from getting the pylon up there. Again, JYP just getting farther and farther behind. 170 supply to 131.
Well, right now we do have that 3rd base being targeted down once again. The cannon's hitting, but does it matter? No. The Stalkers had to come up to push those Mutas back, but he's just playing him like a fiddle right now, Tasteless.
He is. He is, I cannot believe that JYP is still alive. He's doing a really good job of staying in this, but the question is, what is the backup plan once he gets back on his feet, once he's no longer rocked?
Well, it looks like JYP's plan is just to go up to Psystorm and hope that DRG stays on Mutalisk tech. Look at that, sniping all the sentries there. That's really going to help his Banelings make a difference. In fact, as soon as he sniped the last sentry, 24 Banelings in production. Wow, that is going to do so much damage to those Stalkers. But we've seen JYP already today do some great moves against Banelings with them.
This is such a good setup. If these Banelings connect, this gets to be, if DRG's a Mortal Kombat character, this is going to be his fatality. This is going to look so sick with everything blowing up.
That's right, but
now there are some Immortals which can tank some insane number of Banelings that I actually forget.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And I want to say Storm is about to finish. So if he gets good Storms off on the Mutas and on the Banelings, JYP still could have a chance to come back here.
Well, JYP is going to have the most masterful defense we've seen here at this MLG. Note how he's using the Mutalisks now. He's using them as bait. He's pulling the Stalkers out into the middle of the map. JYP cautiously backs up.
A lot of Banelings out in the middle right now. 33 of them in total, 49 Lings and 29 Mutas. That's such a fearsome army. But Psystorm is very good against this great Psystorm. But is it enough? Oh, and a lot of Stalkers will be taken out, but
oh, wow.
That wasn't so bad for JYP.
Oh, wow, I'm really impressed with that.
Yeah, he did not lose his entire army, which is what DRG was going for.
Even the defensive move here by JYP, the Archon over there, to not let the Zerglings in. JYP is damn good.
That's right, and that Archon, I mean, you do not want to use Banelings against Archon. It takes something like 17 of them to blow him up. Now these Mutas running away.
Right now the Muta count is at 27.
So he hasn't really lost that many Mutas, but the Banelings aren't free. And, I mean, DRG has mined out his main base. He's going to have to start mining at his fifth base, and his fourth is being harassed. So JYP is showing once again why we've been saying he is so good at this matchup.
I'm astounded that JYP is able to have any presence. There's a small possibility if this game goes on for maybe like 15, 20 more minutes that DRG is going to mine out the map and JYP will win by this weird situation because he was in a disadvantage early on.
That's actually funny but true. A lot of Banelings have been morphed though, and these armies are just so large in comparison to what JYP has, but he's got to hit perfect storms with them.
Okay, looks like he's once again going to try to go for a surround. JYP regrouping, let's see if this works. Preemptive Psystorms here, making the Banelings a little bit less effective. Immortals in the front to tank the Baneling damage, but then are isolated, so they're taken up by the Mutalisks.
Banelings dodging any Archons or Immortals there, waiting to try to hit. Oh, nice Psystorm there, hitting a lot of the Mutas, but are there just too many here? It's hard to say. Do we have any more?
He's just going to go for the Nexus, watch.
Oh my, a good move indeed. It goes down as well as a bunch of Stalkers. And in fact, DRG looks like he may have done it this time, Tasteless.
Well, yeah, it looks to be the case. I mean, he just, once he got that Nexus, essentially, guys, he was staying ahead for a very long period of time. And eventually, when he was so ahead, he was maxed out and realized his opponent is only on 3 bases. GG. He just sent the Banelings over there, blew it up. And it was a very well-calculated trade.
You know,
JP, Rob, what are your? Oh, I'm sorry, Artosis, please go ahead.
It was a great attempt at a comeback from JYP. He was at such a huge disadvantage. That was one of the best games against DRG on that map that I've seen.
Oh, absolutely. Day 9, DJ Wheat, your thoughts on the series so far?
I mean, I got to hand it to JYP for getting that pylon in there so early and then not getting too overeager with it, using it just right. But in the mid-game, if you've done huge economic damage to your opponent, probably the worst way to exploit that is with a big mid-game push. I mean, DRG was either committed to doing a really risky tech or building a ton of roaches, and that's what caught JYP out of position so
It's just
hard.
it's one of those instances in a game where you think that they've just done so much damage, and you know, like you said, I agreed with you guys. I thought that JYP had a really clear edge, but it also goes to show that sometimes you just keep your cool, and DRG, a player is certainly capable of doing that. I mean, it almost like didn't affect him at the end of the day. So, great job to DRG.
Yep, DRG is doing really well. I'm really curious to see what JYP's next opening is going to be. But before we go on to game number 2, we're going to have a quick break, so stay tuned. This is MLG.